Okay, it says that I'm live. Hello. Previously I've created quite a few videos about making Stripe work in a Ruby on Rails application, but it was more than 2 years ago, and that was for Ruby on Rails 6. And now we're going to make it so that Stripe works in a Ruby on Rails 7 application, and we're going to add Stripe subscriptions in a new Rails app, and we're going to start with a new Stripe account. So here you see I've created a brand new Stripe account, I've given it a name Rails 7 app, and I've created a new Rails 7 app where I already added some posts. A post has a title and a boolean to say whether the post is premium or not. So not logged in users and users that are logged in but don't have a premium account or like don't have an active subscription are not going to be able to access the premium posts, and only logged in users with a subscription are going to be able to access premium posts. So this post should be visible only to a logged in user that is subscribed. And as we're talking about login, I have already added device, so it's just device for user. Let me create some kind of user. And you see I'm logged in. So you see we have some very basic starting functionality. And we've got this Stripe account. And again, I'm not going to just build it all from scratch. I'm going to also refer a bit to the code that I've written previously for this SaaS blog app that was a Rails 6 application for the same purpose, for subscriptions. But again, this time we're going to make it work nicely with Rails 7, and we're going to add some additional improvements. So let's start by installing the Stripe gem and accessing the Stripe API. So I'm going to go to the console of my application. And I will say bundle add Stripe. This is going to add the Stripe gem in our gem file right here. And I'm going to go to our config initializers, and I'm going to add a file named stripe.rb. And inside the stripe.rb file, I'm going to add the Stripe secret key. Maybe we can find some information about this in the Stripe gem. Gem Stripe, let's see. API key. Yeah, so something like this, Stripe API key. And we're going to add this in our initializer. And the API key is going to be this secret key. So I'm going to reveal it, copy it, and paste it here. And now I'm going to save the file, and let's try to see if we can access our Stripe API. I will say Stripe customer.list. And yeah, you see, we don't have an authentication error. We have just an empty list of Stripe customers. Okay, so this works. Now we're going to make it so that when a user registers in our application, we're going to create a Stripe customer for him, and we're going to assign the Stripe customer ID to the user. So we're going to go to our user.rb, and here we're going to say that we're going to have a callback after create do, and we will say Stripe customer.create. Email will be the user's email. Let's see if this works for the user that we already had created. Let's say back to the console, user equals user.first, and email equals user.email. And we will try to run this command and see if a Stripe customer is created. You see, a Stripe customer was created in the console. We can see the Stripe customer's ID. If we go back to the Stripe dashboard and go to customers, we see that this customer has been created. Okay, and now we need to assign this Stripe customer ID to our user. So we are going to add the Stripe customer ID to our user model. I'm going to say Rails generate migration, add Stripe customer ID to users, and the Stripe customer ID is going to be a string. It's not an integer, you see, it's kind of a string. Let's have a look at our migration. And here's the migration. Let's say railsdb migrate. And we have this column added to our user model. Now, in theory, I could make this call inline and retrieve the Stripe customer's ID and update it here. I could say like Stripe customer equals this. Then I would say Stripe customer ID equals Stripe customer ID, and I could say user update Stripe customer ID with Stripe customer ID. But this isn't the really correct approach, because not always it can be done inline. For example, the Stripe API can be lagging a bit, it can be taking some time to respond, and this call can take some time to load. So it would be more correct to do it asynchronously via webhooks. And at this point, we are not going to do it like this. We are going to use webhooks. So we are going to add a Stripe webhooks controller. I'm going to go to one of the Stripe guides. Here you see there is a guide for creating a subscription page with Stripe checkout. And in the server RB, there is this example that also contains a webhook code. So I'm going to actually create a webhooks controller inside our app controllers. I will create a new folder, Stripe. It will have webhook controller, webhooks controller.rb, class Stripe, webhooks controller that inherits from application controller, and we will have def create. It's going to be a post request. Webhooks are usually sent via post requests, I guess. And let's copy the server code and see what part of it is relevant to us. So we don't need to require Stripe because it is already added by the Stripe gem. We don't need the Stripe API key because we have it inside our Stripe initializer. Then all this code was Sinatra specific, not for Ruby on Rails. Then our domain, we don't need it. Then this is a post request to Stripe checkout session. We're going to do it later. Portal session, we don't need it yet. And here is the post to the webhook path. So this is what we are going to use here. So this code looks more or less like what we need. Let's just add a root. We're going to go to our roots, and here we're going to have a post to Stripe webhooks, to Stripe webhooks create. So this root seems to be looking okay. The controller path is stripe/webhook/create, and we're going to move this code into the create action. So let's copy all of this and move it into the create action. Okay, and let's see. So if webhook secret is empty, okay, we need to add the webhook secret, and the webhook secret is going to be given to us by Stripe. So let's go to our Stripe developer mode, webhooks. We're going to test in local environment, and I'm going to go and log in via Stripe. So Stripe login. Let's open. Okay, they're in success, allow access. Access has been granted. Okay, so I have logged into Stripe, and let's see what the next step is. We're going to say Stripe listen forward to, but it's not going to be this specific path, it's going to be the path that I defined in our roots. So it's going to be Stripe listen forward to stripe/webhooks. I'll just add this here as a comment, and let's see if it works. So in one window I have the Rails server running, in the other window I have the Stripe webhooks running, and let's see if in another window I will try to open the Rails console, or I mean just that terminal, and I will try to trigger some kind of Stripe command and see if the webhook happens. I will open each of them in a new tab. Okay, so here I have the Rails server. Here I have the Stripe webhooks and listener, and here I'm going to trigger some Stripe webhooks. So let's try to trigger something. Okay, failed to post, connection refused. That's fine. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to finish up building this controller. I will say skip before action verify authenticity token. I could say only create, but it's the only action in this controller. And we are going to add the webhook key. It's this one that is given to us in the example. It adds the one that we are actually using. And let's try triggering something once again. Okay, connection. Okay, yeah, sure, it's refused because I'm trying to connect to localhost 4242, but I'm actually using localhost 3000. Let's try again. Okay, and you see something is happening. You see it actually hit the Rails console. So something happened here, and I got a few different errors, new errors. That's nice. So let's see. Initialized constant Stripe signature verification error. Let's see what this can be. Signature verification error. Interesting. Let's so yeah, we have our local listener. Let's try once again. What do we have here? Initialized constant Stripe signature verification. What else do we have? Let's try finding this error. Yeah, maybe I will just try restarting the server and the listener. Sometimes it helps. Okay, wrong number of arguments. So now the error is different. That's nice. Let's see. So we got the error only on line 64. Where's line 64? It's here. So Actually, we don't need this. It's like Sinatra-like code. I'm just going to say render JSON message success. Let's try once again. Okay, so now we have 200 success. So this webhook example has been processed correctly. And yeah, this way we can process webhooks in our Rails app. And you see we have few examples as customer subscription deleted, updated, created, and so on. Let's try processing not the payment intent succeeded, but subscription created, for example. Okay, and you see it is running all these commands. So seems to be working. Okay, now let's go back to our problem of assigning Stripe customer ID to a user when the user is created. So the webhook is going to be customer created. So I'm going to say case event.type, and when customer.created, we are going to find the event, the customer from the event. By the email, we are going to find the user in our database and update the Stripe customer ID. So we will have, let's try putting a binding here, debugger, and look at the object that we have. So customer.created. We're going to trigger this command. It's going to create a dummy customer. Okay, created. Okay, you see we have a binding, and we have event. Here's the event.data.object. Event data object, and you see we have the customer ID. And it must also have an email. Now it doesn't have an email because it doesn't have an email in this fake data. So with a real customer it would maybe work. But we can find the event data object email and ID. So that is more or less all we need. Let's start the Rails server once again. And we will say event.data.object. We'll say customer equals event data.object. We're going to find a user by the customer email. Email customer email and user.update Stripe customer ID will be the Stripe customer ID of the customer. So it will be customer.stripe customer ID. Is it correct? No, it's just ID. Okay, let's see if this actually works. Now I'm going to go into our app and create a new customer. So register, sign up, and you see there was a webhook that was sent just now, customer.created. Here is the log. So we had a post to webhooks. We see the email is foo@bar, and in the webhooks controller we made a post to update the Stripe customer ID with the customer.id. So now I think if we try to display the current user's Stripe customer ID, it will work. So I will say current user dot Stripe customer ID. And here you see, now whenever a user is created, the user has a Stripe customer ID. So it works. Very good. Now let's go to subscriptions. So for subscriptions, we'll need to create a few different plans. So let's go back to our Stripe dashboard. And I'm going to create a product. So let's name it like premium plan, only subscribers. Oh, hello Diamond Gamer. Can I make a tutorial on how to use Firebase for authentication using phone number? Yeah, sure. I can add it to my to-do list. And actually, I haven't used Firebase before, but I'll have a look. Hello, Alexander. Uh, yeah, nice to see you here too. Okay, so back to what I was working on. I was creating a few different products that a user can subscribe for. So we're going to have premium plan only for subscribers. Let's add some kind of image, and we'll add a few prices. So it's going to be standard pricing. Let's add, for example, $19 recurring monthly, and let's add another plan. So let's make it like $190 recurring yearly. Okay, so a product can have many prices, and we've created a product that has two recurring prices. One is monthly and one is yearly. Okay, now let's display these prices in our application. So let's add a pricing page. I'm going to go to Stripe. I will create a new controller. Let's name it checkout controller. And as the webhooks controller, it's going to inherit from Stripe checkout controller def pricing, and we're going to add a page for this, a view where users can view the prices. So I'm going to create a new folder Stripe. Inside there will be a folder checkout, and inside we'll have pricing.html.erb. Hello, and let's add a root for this. So we'll have get Stripe, let's just say pricing to Stripe checkout pricing. Now let's try navigating to /pricing, and here we have this page with just this hello word. Okay, and let's try to actually display our prices. So we are going to display the plans that have the right lookup keys. I forgot that we can add the lookup keys to these prices. Let's try to add this. Lookup key will be monthly, and lookup key is going to be yearly. So we're going to find the prices that have these lookup keys, and it's going to be something like lookup keys equals monthly and yearly, and I'm going to say add prices equals stripe.price.list lookup keys. Let's see if this works in our console. Let's start the console. Okay, Stripe price list lookup keys. Maybe it should be price. Yeah, price should be from big letter. Let's see. Maybe it should be lookup keys equals lookup keys. Yeah, and we have some kind of object. Here it is. So we have two prices. Let's say add prices equals Stripe price list. Okay, and we're going to display only the active prices, so active true, and we're going to get the product of these prices, so expand data product, and we're going to sort by unit amount. So the smallest price is going to be first, the biggest price is going to be next. Let's just try running it in the console. You see, in the previous call we had the bigger price 191st and the smaller price next, and now we have the smaller price first. Yeah, here's the bigger one, the 190. So let's try displaying these prices. I will say prices dot each do price, and we will have equals price dot product dot name. Let's see if this works. So both are premium plan. Price dot what does the price have? Let's just have the price object and see what it gives us. Okay, so we have the ID, object, active, currency. We'll need the currency. Then so we have the interval. One is monthly, one is yearly. So we'll need to have the recurring interval, price dot recurring dot interval. Let's see if it gets displayed. Yeah, so month and year. Let's see what other attributes we would like to display. So I guess the amount, unit amount. So yeah, let's display the unit amount, price dot unit amount, and this might be all we want to display. So 190 USD per month, and yeah, let's just show it in more user-friendly way. So we are going to show it in dollars but not in cents. Okay, 19 and 190. Let's put these into separate divs so that they are, well, kind of separated. Okay, so we have two different plans, and now we'll want to have a button to actually subscribe to one of these plans. So for this we're going to use Stripe checkout sessions. So here there is an example of Stripe checkout code. We have a form, and we find the price by a lookup key. So we could have this kind of form next to each price. Action would be create checkout session, method post. We would have a lookup key. So let's add these Stripe checkout sessions. I'm going to go to our roots. I'm going to add Stripe checkout create, and it's going to be get Stripe checkout, yeah, Stripe / checkout path. Let's see if this path is available in our roots. Rails roots grab, oh no, Rails roots grab checkout. Okay, so the Stripe checkout path, and we're going to add this checkout action in our controller. So we'll have def create or def checkout. In this case, yeah, we decided to go with checkout. And let's see the server code provided by Stripe. So server.rb. Here we have this create checkout session. Let's copy this code and redirect to session URL. We don't need to provide the status. Let's see. So Stripe checkout session create. Items would be prices data. The first success URL would be what would we say? checkout success URL, and for cancel we'll have checkout cancel URL. We will we'll come back to why I added these quite soon. Let's finish with building the checkout. So we're going to have line items. The mode is going to be subscription in both of our pricing cases, and I'm going to find the price that we are using by the price ID. So instead of having this form, we're going to have a button. We'll have equals button to subscribe. It's going to be Stripe checkout path, and in the params we'll have price ID equals price.id, and we'll also have to add data turbo false here, and we don't need this anymore. And we will have our price ID available in our params in the checkout controller. So we're going to find the Stripe price by the price ID provided. So price equals Stripe price.retrieve, and we're going to do it by the params price ID. And here we'll have price data, the first element, ID. Or actually, no, we don't need it. We can just, I think we can just pass in this ID. Yeah, we don't even need all this code. Okay, so in the standard error, we don't need this, I guess. Yeah, we'll just have the session. So session equals Stripe checkout session create, mode subscription, and do we need anything else? I guess not. Let's try to see if it works. So I'll click subscribe. Okay, no root matches post Stripe checkout. Let's go to our roots. Yeah, this should be post. Now let's go back. Subscribe. Action create could not be found in Stripe controller. Yeah, it should be Stripe checkout. Let's go back once again. Subscribe. Undefined local variables called success URL because we didn't add these in the root. So I will say post Stripe success and failure. Okay, let's try once again. Let's see the roots. Rails, grep success. Okay, it is Stripe success path. I will make it Stripe checkout success path and checkout failure path. So Stripe checkout success and Stripe checkout. Yeah, is it cancel or failure? Let's make it cancel. Okay, let's see if these paths work now. Yeah, it should be not redirect, but redirect to session URL. Let's try once again. Unsafe redirect. So this is a new Rails 17. It wasn't so in Rails 6, and we will need to add allow other hosts true. Try it once again, and here we are in the Stripe checkout. So let's try once again. I'm going to go back. Okay, we don't have Stripe cancel. Why don't we have Stripe cancel? Okay, it should be a GET request here and here. Okay, let's just try once again. We are in our pricing. We'll go to one of the prices. And here we are. So we can kind of pay with it. But you see, our email is not provided by default. So there is no way to know which particular customer subscribed unless the customer puts in the right email. So we're going to autofill this email. And to autofill this email, we'll go back to our checkout controller. And inside the session, we're going to say customer equals current user dot stripe customer ID. Let's try once again. I'll refresh. I will open one of the plans. And you see the email has been automatically populated. Let's try another plan. And you see we can subscribe to this other plan. And we can put in our card information. So let's make it the default Stripe success card. It's 4242 all the times. Then any dates in the future, any CVC code. And let's click subscribe. So it's kind of processing success, and it redirects us to our success URL, and from our success URL it redirects us back to pricing. And see, it is success. So we kind of managed to subscribe. Let's go back to our Stripe dashboard, to our customers. You see, this customer now has a card tied to his account. Which one was it? It was full bar. Yeah, this customer should be subscribed. Yeah, you see, this customer paid 190 just now. A subscription was created. All these disregard them because they were created when we were trying out our webhooks. So this user is an active subscriber. He made a $190 payment. Let's have a look at our products. The premium plan. Let's have a look at this price. Okay, and for some reason, yeah, it's then $19 per month, so it has no active subscriptions. Let's try the other one, the 190. You see, it has one active subscription. Here it is, one active subscription. So we managed to successfully subscribe our user to this plan. Now let's make it so that our user can change his plan or cancel his plan. This is also very important. So we're going to allow our user to access his billing portal. So here there is an example of allowing the customer to access the portal session. We're going to copy this, and we're going to add this either in this controller or in another Stripe controller. I would prefer another Stripe controller. This is all with like paying, but another, like the Stripe billing portal controller, will be separate. So I would say billing portal controller.rb. Oh yeah, I created it as a folder, my mistake. So billing portal controller, and here we're going to paste this code. We're going to copy the class and name it billing portal. And now this is going to be def create redirect to session URL, allow other hosts as we did here, otherwise we're going to have the same error. And now we don't need this content type. Clean it all up. We're going to redirect to pricing .stripe customer ID, and this should be it. Now let's add the roots. So I'm going to roots. We're going to have a post to Stripe billing portal, to Stripe billing portal create action, and let's have a look at how our route is named. So it's a Stripe billing portal path. Let's add this link somewhere in our application. For example, all the signed in users would be able to see it. So I would say equals button to billing portal, Stripe billing portal path, and also we would add data turbo false so that it correctly directs this post request to another web page. Let's refresh and see if it works. Okay, so here we have this billing portal button. I click on it. You can create a portal session in test mode before you configure it. So let's go here and configure our billing portal. And this is actually a very interesting page. So we are going to our users can do and can't do in the billing portal. Can they add their address? Can they renew subscriptions? Can they change plans and so on? Now it's taken me quite a long time to load. Let's try again. Okay, so yeah, let's activate the test link. Let's allow users to see the invoice history. What customer information can they provide? Billing address, shipping address. Now we are not doing any physical goods shipping, so we don't really need a separate shipping address. Tax ID, let them provide it if they want to. Payment methods, let's manage which payment methods they can use. Now while this is loading, okay, so we can turn on PayPal, and just like this, the users will also be able to pay via PayPal. You can select other ways of payment, so you see, it's so easy. Let's see for cancellations. So we're going to allow users to cancel at the end of the billing period, and yeah, we can collect a cancellation reason. You can provide different reasons. Pausing subscriptions if you like. Customers can switch plans, yes. Change quantity, no. Let's select which plans they can select. So the $19 and $190 per month. Promotion codes, if you do any promotion codes. And business information about your app. So Rails 7 demo app with Stripe subscriptions. And redirect link, it's the link that is here on here when you click back on the app. I think this is enough for us now, so let's save our changes and see if we can now open our billing portal in our application. So let's go back. I will click on billing portal. And you see we are in the Stripe billing dashboard. I can see my current plan. I can update the plan or cancel the plan, add payment methods, see how much I paid and when I paid. Let's click update. For example, I want to change from yearly to monthly. I will click on continue. You see there is nothing left for me to pay because I already have money on my balance. Confirm, and just like this I change from yearly to monthly. Let's try canceling the plan. And you see I can select a reason why I'm canceling the plan. Okay, now let's go back to the app, either by clicking here or here. And we are back on the pricing page, so looks quite good. Okay, now let's actually allow our app to know whether the user is an active subscriber in our Stripe or not, and when the subscription ends. So we're going to add some additional attributes to our user modal, and we're going to get them via the Stripe webhooks. So I'm going to say Rails generate migration, add the Stripe subscription data to users. And what attributes do we need? So let's have a look. Add Stripe subscription data to users. So add column, we could add the plan, and it would be like either monthly or yearly. So no, we're adding to users table plan attribute as a string. Then we're going to add the subscription status, active or not active, for example. And we're going to add the subscription ends at or current period end, and it would be date time. Okay, let's add these attributes and migrate them into our database. And now let's try updating this when a subscription is created, deleted, or updated. So I'm going to go to our webhooks controller, and here you see in this example we were given all these event types: subscription deleted, updated, created, and trial will end. So for now I'm going to work only with deleted, updated, and created. At the moment we are not offering trial periods, and I'm going to add them into this case when. So when event type is either deleted or updated or created, we are going to do something different. We're going to update these three columns. So we're going to find the user, then we're going to say user.update, and we're going to update these three attributes: the plan, subscription status, and subscription ends at. And in a moment we're going to know which attributes we're going to use to update these. Actually, I don't remember exactly, so I'm going to have a look at how I did it previously in this Rails 6 application in December 2021. It's been quite a while. Let's have a look at the webhooks controller here. So controllers, webhooks controller, and here we had subscription equals event data object. Then we found the user by the subscription.customer, and we would update subscription status with subscription.status. The plan would be subscription price lookup key, for example, and the ends at would be subscription current period end. Okay, this might work. We'll just need to check. Let's try putting a binding and see if it works. I will put a debugger, and let's create a new Stripe user and do this all once again. So register, okay, I registered. You see I still don't have a Stripe custom ID, but if I refresh, there is a Stripe custom ID. So you see it actually takes some time for us to send the request to Stripe, for Stripe to create a customer and send us the data. Now we're going to go and visit our /pricing. I'm going to click subscribe. So 42. And let's have a look here. Are we going to, yeah, you see we are in the binding. So let's have a look, subscription. Here we have our subscription data. Let's have a look, subscription dot customer. So we have the customer ID, and that's all we need to find the user. So here we have our user. Let's have a look at the subscription price. And actually, why are we using the lookup key? We can use the recurring interval. So price recurring dot interval. It's going to be the plan name. So it would be either month or year. And we can see the subscription status has been changed to incomplete at the moment. Okay, interesting. And the subscription current period end, let's have a look at it. And it is some kind of integer, but if we make it to date time, it's a date that is actually 1 month from now. Okay, so let's continue. Let's see, we once again hit this webhook, and you see now the subscription status was set to active. Let's continue. Okay, so the subscription must be active. Let's comment out the debugger, go back, and you see we had a success message. Let's display the current user's subscription attributes. So I'm going to display these 3 in our navbar. Let's see. Equals current user dot this attribute. So all the Stripe attributes. And we see, so we have an active yearly subscription that ends 1 month from now. No, something's wrong. You see, it says yearly, but it ends in the end of this month. So something was set incorrectly here. Interesting. Let's go to our billing portal and have a look. Yeah, so it is 19 per month. Let's try updating the plan to the yearly. You see we need to pay the difference between 190 and 19. Okay, let's go back to the app. Okay, yeah, that was from some kind of previous legacy data. So now it is yearly active. Let's make it monthly again. Let's update the plan to monthly. Nothing additional to pay because we already paid 190. Let's go back to our app, and you see it is month active and ends exactly in 1 month from now. Let's try canceling our subscription. Go back to our app, and you see the status is still active, but it will not be renewed. So the customer will not be billed once again. Let's just double check. Let's go to our billing portal. And you see the subscription has been cancelled and the plan will be cancelled on the 9th of October. So it works. And now as the final thing for our application, you see we have posts. Some of them are available to unsubscribed users, some are available to only premium users. So let's make it so that only a subscribed user can see the premium posts. I will log out, I will create as a new user. Okay, and let's go to our posts controller, and ensure that only an active user can see all the posts. And yeah, so what is an active user? An active user is a user that has a subscription that ends in the future. So a user who has subscription ends at more than time zone now. So let's see if this current user is active. Yeah, it says nil because this attribute is nil, because subscription ends at return false unless subscription ends at .present. Okay, so now it is false. Or subscription ends at has to be in the future. So let's go to our posts controller and say post all will be if current user dot active. Then we will have posts all. Else we will have post.var. What is the attribute's name? Premium false. And let's refresh. You see, we don't see the premium post. We would need something similar here. So if current user, so if this is a premium post and if the current user is active, then he can see it. If at post dot premium true and current user dot active, then he can see the post. Yeah, but let's see how we did it last time, so that I don't overthink. Yeah, if post is premium and current user status is active, let's see. If post premium and current user active, if the current user is not active, then we're going to redirect that you're not allowed to access. So let's try accessing post with ID 3. And you see, post is for premium subscribers and this post is available. Now let's subscribe. I'm going to go to the pricing page. Let's add a link to the pricing page. Okay, here's the pricing link. I'm going to subscribe to this annual plan. Okay. Subscribing. And now if I go back to posts, you see I see all the posts. My subscription is yearly and active and it ends 1 year from now, and I can open any post I like. So everything works. And let's just do one final demo from the very beginning. Okay, so here I am logging out and you see if current user active. Let's make this guard close. Okay, so I am not logged into the app and I see only free posts. I don't see premium posts. I'm going to register. And you see, I will refresh the page now, and I received the Stripe webhook, and I was assigned a Stripe customer ID. I'm going to be able to go to the pricing page and select one of the plans, either monthly or yearly. Let's select the monthly plan. I will put in an example card that usually works successfully with Stripe. Subscribe. So it was processed successfully. I was redirected back to the pricing page. You see I have a monthly active subscription that ends 1 month from now. If I go back to /posts, I see 3 posts. I also see a premium post. I can access the premium post. And now I can also go to the billing dashboard where I can change my plan or cancel my plan. So let's try to change it to an annual plan, yearly, continue. I need to pay an additional $171 from my card that I have already connected. I will go back to the app, and you see the plan is yearly and it ends 1 year from now. And also in the billing portal, I can cancel my plan if I like, and I can see the history of my payments. So you see, this is really quite easy to add Stripe subscriptions into a Rails 7 app. And yeah, that's about it for now. So thanks for being with me, and see you in the next one.